So these are the facts about exponents you need to know. So I'll just let you read through them, and these are the special products that I kind of mentioned before. You need to know, be able to do them without like taking the time to FOIL. And then remember, E is a base, so if they have the same base, you add their exponents, same base, you subtract, and then here you would multiply the exponents. So I'm going to go slowly through here because so many people make a mistake. So this is x times x to the 1/2. And then this is minus x times, and I'm going to just put this down here. So you add the exponents. So this is x to the 1, x to the 1/2. So that gives me x to the 3/2. And here I'm going to subtract. So I have x to the 1 and an x to the 1/2 in the denominator. So I get a 1/2, and then that simplifies to a root x in the numerator, right? 1 minus the root x. I'm sorry, 1 minus the 1/2 from the root x. Distributing here, I'm going to multiply, so that means adding their exponents. And then here, let me just go slow, e to the 3x over e to the x. I'm going to subtract these, right? So e to the 2x. And you know you cannot join those together. All right, let's look at this one. So we're going to use our special product. So we're going to take 3 over e to the 2t squared plus 2 times 3 over e to the 2t times e to the 2t plus e to the 2t squared. So let's make sure we know what that means. I'm going to square everything, so I get a 9. And when I square this, I get an e to the 4t because I multiply those. Then these two e to the 2t's cancel, so I'm just left with the number 6 in the middle. And then this last term, I'm going to multiply those, so I get e to the 4t. And that's it. Do the same thing with this one. So I'd have e to the 2x squared minus 2 times e to the 2x, 3 e to the negative 2x, and then plus, remember the end term is always addition, so it's going to be 3 e to the negative 2x squared. So here, let's just make sure we're good on this. You multiply those, so that gives you e to the 4x. So 2 times a 3 gives me a 6. Oh, and look at what happens here. When I multiply these, I get e to the 0, which is just 1. So here, I end up getting a positive 9, and I multiply these, so I get e to the negative 4x. So that's good exponent practice. We'll be seeing lots of those. So all of these you need to know. These two will be coming up later in the semester, but the rest of them you really, really just need to know. So let's talk about the conjugate. So the conjugate of root x plus, or I'm sorry, the conjugate of root x minus 1 is root x plus 1. So in order to change this expression, x over root x minus 1, we're going to multiply numerator and denominator by the conjugate. So you can recognize that down here, it really is difference of squares, right? So root x times root x, that gives me an x. Root x times a 1, that's a positive root x. Negative 1 times root x, look at that. So this inside terms go away, so I get x minus 1. And I'm just going to leave the numerator as it is. Sometimes that's just all it is, but we got the radicals out of the denominator. Okay, so let's try this one. So since there's an addition sign here, I'm going to multiply by root x minus 4 minus root x on the top and the bottom. Okay, so the numerator, I'm just going to leave it 4 times this ugly thing. And then all over, okay, so here's where we are expecting the difference of squares, right? So this root x minus 4 times this root x minus 4, that's going to give me an x minus 4. And so let's use colors here. So if I take root x minus 4 times a negative root x, and then a root x times a root root x minus 4, those will cancel, right? Because it's minus and plus. So those are gone. And so then let's go to the last terms. So that's going to be root x times negative root x. So it'll be negative x. Okay, let's see what happens. I see the x's are gone in the denominator. So I'm left with this in the numerator, and I'm just left with a negative 4 down here. So I can cancel the cancel the 4s. And so let's talk about what this means. So I can have a negative 1 down there. And so you can bring the negative 1 up, and it would just change the sign. So that would be negative root x minus 4 plus root x, right? Because that's the same thing. Let me just kind of make sure you really see. That's me taking the negative 1 to the numerator and then multiplying it. And that's how I get that. Okay, so let's do another one. One more conjugate fun thing. So I'm just gonna write this one again. Root x plus h minus root x. So I'm gonna multiply the numerator denominator by the conjugate. So that's going to be the root x plus h plus root x plus h plus root x. So then in the numerator, I'm not going to distribute. I'm just going to carry it along in hopes that something will cancel. So then when I'm multiplying this denominator, right, you see the FOIL. So this times this is going to give me x plus h. This term and this term is the outside. Oh, look at that. That will cancel with the insides. And so what's left is the last terms. So that's going to be minus x. So if I simplify in that denominator, the x's are canceling, so I get left with h. Oh, will ya? Look at that. Those h's cancel. So I just get this.